You are tuning in to another video from the one and only Madam Winnell. Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, Madam Winnell. So this video is a special question and answer video. I asked my followers on Instagram and on my newsletter to send in some questions that they have for me, so I'll be answering them on screen now. This might have to be a two-part video because I think it's going to be a little long because I have a lot of questions and I also talk a lot. So let's get right into it. When did you realize you wanted to be a doctor? I realized I wanted to be a doctor when I was working as a dental hygienist. I originally wanted to become a dentist, but then I started getting really interested in the oral systemic health connection and realizing how there are certain presentations or manifestations of things in the body that can actually present in your teeth and manifest with like cavities or gum disease, whether it was diabetes or nutritional deficiencies or hormonal imbalances. And from there, that's when I was like, okay, I don't want to be a dentist. I don't want to just focus on the mouth. I want to treat the entire body. And so I'm here. First impressions of medical school. Okay, so my first impression of medical school, there was a lot of stuff with medical school. First of all, I was like, okay, so we have one exam and it's going to have 20 lectures on it. Like, that's a bit much. Eventually, you learn a study plan that works for you, and then after that, you're good. But before that, it was quite challenging to look at and think you were going to, make it through because it was kind of like, how do they expect us to memorize all of this stuff? And yeah, so it's basically undergrad on steroids. What's one word to describe yourself? Fun. I don't know. What is your skin routine? Okay, really and truly, I don't have a skin routine. I recently just purchased Airbon. I've been using that for the past like 2 weeks, but I have not had a skin routine because I think my genetics have thankfully blessed me for the most part. But my skin breaks out when I'm stressed or when I'm studying for exams. But ever since taking my exams, like my skin has actually been pretty nice to me, and I'm just like loving it. Shout out to Brittany, who was my connect. She will hook you up with a nice deal. So if you want more information about that, drop a comment or leave me a message. How do you pay for medical school? So I pay for medical school with federal loans, federal student loans, and you can get up to, I believe it's $40,000 a year after paying tuition. And so with that extra refund, if you do take out the maximum amount, you can use that to pay for uh, your housing, your food, your books, exams, um, your trip to Miami, whatever. Just kidding, don't do that. But you will have that money there, and it's really good that they give you that much money because I think for most places, like even living in New York City, it's enough to cover your living expenses and the things that you need. And yeah, everyone's eligible. It's not based on credit. It's a federal loan, and obviously you do have to pay it back when you're done. If you take out the maximum of student loans for medical school, you would have left medical school in about, I'm gonna say, $400,000 in debt. So almost $500,000, but no biggie. You'll pay it back when you start working. How do you stay motivated when you're losing focus? So I get this question a lot, actually. A lot of people message me and tell me that they're losing motivation and they don't want to study and all the other stuff. And I go through that many times, honestly, like as a medical student. There's many times I don't want to study, and sometimes, honestly, I don't. Because sometimes when you're feeling really burnt out, it's not okay to study because you're not going to retain anything. But if you're losing motivation and just like lacking focus, I think you need to, one, think about why this is happening. Think about what stressors are on your plate right now and how you can alleviate those stressors. I know certain things are out of your control, but you can control how you react to things. You can also meditate, you can pray, You can write things down. And I think also thinking about the bigger picture, like if you don't want to study or you're losing motivation, think about what studying will get you. Studying could, get you through this class so that you can apply to med school and become a doctor and, provide a life for yourself and your family. You can also think about, like I said, just the bigger picture, your passion, what makes you the most happy. And when I'm studying for a test, I'm like, oh, this is so much. But I think about what I'm going to do after the test, which is usually going out to eat with my friends. Maybe I'm getting a drink or something. I'm going to listen to some music, dance, whatever. So just kind of keep things on your plate to keep you motivated throughout the day as you're studying. And also, I always talk about this, the Pomodoro technique. Try to study in increments so that you're not just like saying, oh, I have to study for 10 hours today. Break it up into, 25-minute study periods and then have a 5-minute rest or have a 20-minute rest or whatever. Build your study plan and reward yourself with things throughout the day so that you can stay motivated throughout the day. How do you find your passion? So, finding your passion is something that honestly is usually right under your nose and you wouldn't believe that it is. It's usually something that one you like doing. Maybe you don't do it a lot because maybe you don't have time, but it's something that when you do it, it makes you smile, it makes you feel at ease, it makes you feel at home. And I talked about this on an Instagram live recently. Finding your passion and your purpose are very important. Your passion is something that you love to do. Your purpose is kind of like your calling, and that could be something that you're really good at. For instance, I had a friend who didn't really know what his like passion was or like what he wanted to major in college, and he was undecided for a while. Then he did economics, and that wasn't really his passion. Um, but eventually he found a major, which was media culture and communications, and he liked that because he was really into the entertainment industry, and now he's actually a screenwriter and he's getting his master's in screenwriting, but his writing skills have always been like right under his nose. Like he's always been a great writer in college and everything, and I used to call it like Broadway writing. He was really creative, so it's something that literally was always there, but I guess he just never like tapped into it. So, think about those things that you love doing and make you happy. And even if there's no like major for it, like maybe you can create your own business out of it, carve out your own lane. Should I go to DO or MD school? Um, that's honestly up to you. I think if the title matters to you that much, like MD or DO, uh, choose whichever. Personally, if you are someone who really wants to get into med school and doesn't have the best like MCAT score or whatever, or the best stats, I think it would be wise to look into DO schools because honestly, both pathways will land you in great places. The residencies are merged and you'll have a leg up honestly as a DO. At least you will be more like well versed in musculoskeletal system and having an extra toolbox in your corner. So it's really up to you, honestly. I'm currently a hygienist but thinking of medical school. Do you still like your decision? I I think this is the best or one of the best decisions I've ever made, leaving dentistry and coming to medicine. Medicine is just so broad and the possibilities are endless. I'm so honored and privileged to, you know, eventually have the duty of, diagnosing patients and, creating treatment plans of my own and, being truly involved in a more autonomous workload. And yeah, there's no looking back. No offense to dental hygiene, but I love this career. I love this profession. Yeah, it's honestly everything that I needed in a profession because I can finally be in control, in charge of how I, see the future of my career. And like I said, there's no turning back. No turning back. So this will be the last question before I stop this video, and then I'll start the next video. So someone said, how do you define confidence? How did you become so confident? I would define confidence as truly living for yourself and no one else. And I definitely embody that. I've always been someone who always looked at my own paper. And I think it's something that my mom instilled in me, like just not comparing yourself to others, not telling yourself that you can't do something, and just always believing in yourself and believing that something's possible, no matter how rough or rocky the road is to get there. Just believe that it will happen. So I think I've always like betted on myself, and I've never been someone to try to like keep up with the Joneses. I think I have been someone who's been really hard on myself, and my competition has always been myself, really. There's a lot of things that I have had to work on in the past, and I kind of taught myself how to own my own insecurities and own the things that, maybe I don't want to share with the world or whatever it is. But I realized that being transparent and just loving the skin that you're in and standing in your truth will always set you free, and it will always allow you to be and feel liberated. So I think being liberated, being honest, being transparent, and being genuine is confidence. So embody that 100%. So that's part one of the video. I'll be recording part two next. See you in my next video.